Hey, this is Dave at housebearers.com. Today we're going to show you how to move a sprinkler head a few feet in your yard. Have you ever had that issue where the sprinkler head for one reason or another is in the wrong place? Like in this particular case, we extended this deck and now we've got deck where the sprinkler used to spray. And so it's time to move it, get it back to a more useful position. Your two options are to call the irrigation company and have them do it, or do it yourself. If you've ever seen any of our videos, you know we're pretty big fans of doing it yourself. Save a lot of money in the process, and that's what we're going to show you how to do today. So this is an easy task. Pretty much anybody can do it. Because we moved this is a temporary location because we extended this porch a while ago. We left this like this just to extend it later on. While that used to be the good position, we want to bring it more out to over here so that we can sprinkle this side of the porch and the front of the porch as well. So let's go ahead and dig it up. First thing we want to do is carefully dig up the sprinkler head, as well as about 6 or 8 inches of the hose that leads to the bottom of the sprinkler head. It's about a 1/2 inch diameter, inside diameter rubber hose. We want to make sure that we don't damage it. And so for the first 5 or so inches, you can dig willy-nilly, but when you get close to the bottom of the sprinkler, you've got to go kind of slow and dig up this line and find out which direction it's in so you can proceed from there. What you can't see underground is basically you have your whole sprinkler system. All the zones are connected with 1 inch PVC, probably 1 inch PVC that has a T on it, and then this would continue on. And then you have a connector with the flexible rubber hose. And then that flexible rubber hose goes to wherever your sprinkler is. This is really what we're dealing with today, is we have our sprinkler head that's visible, and then this goes underground till it intersects with the Schedule 40 pipe. And so what we're gonna do is deal with this. And so we're gonna dig up the sprinkler head, and the rest of the hose is the first thing. Remember, being really careful when you get to it to not damage this hose. Now, because this can be a couple feet or even many more feet longer, what we're going to do is once we get to the bottom of the hose, and you can see our hose is right below its elbow there, what you can do is pull on this, lift it up, and it'll slowly expose more and more of the existing hose, and you just dig around it, pull it up some more, dig around it, and that way you're sure never to slice the hose. Right, because we can see where the hose is, I can go ahead and sink my shovel underneath that without any worries. And then you just kind of lift it up, and you can see I'm lifting the actual sprinkler head up as well on the hose. And then see, you can see where it's now going in that direction, so I can just keep going following that, but underneath. And you would do this very same thing after you dig up the hose, after you dig up the sprinkler head. It's just treating the hose carefully. Now that we've got the hose dug up, what we want to do is mark out where the sprinkler head's going to be. And so we want to bring this past this plant and then straight out to about here. Once you have that position marked, you can go ahead and dig a trench from the old sprinkler head location to the new sprinkler head location. And if you're careful, you can save the sod as well. We'll just replant that. Now, the trench itself does not have to be that wide. It just needs to be deep enough to get down to where you want to go, and that's about it. Again, 4 inches or more underground, and you should be safe from the aerator tines. But we'll go about 8 inches. All right, so there you can see our trench, and it's not very wide at all, but it'll give us enough room for a hose, and at the end here where the head's going to go, that's all you need to do. If you wait for a couple rainy days prior, the ground will be so much softer. Okay, now we got to connect the old line with the new line, and to do that there's a special barbed connector. It has barbs on either end of it, and we're going to join these two hoses together. Because the rubber hose is so flexible, you have a lot of opportunity to adjust it after it's connected, but you just don't want to have to do any really sharp bends and accidentally close off that line. So ballpark it to pretty close to where you want it to be. And so we're cutting the old line between the old sprinkler head and the rigid supply line, the 1-inch supply line that's in the ground already. All right, so now comes the trickiest part of the job. And what you want to be careful to do here, we're going to cut the line. And so what you want to be careful to do is make sure no dirt goes inside that line. Because if it does, then it's probably going to end up clogging your nozzle. Okay, so we got a wet rag here. And basically, once you do this process, it's good to continue on. Don't quit in the middle. If you, for some reason you need to quit after cutting the line, wrap that up. Put a baggie over it just to keep dirt or debris from going inside the line till you can get back to it. That's all nice and clean. So now we can go ahead and we're just going to cut the line. The wall of this rubber hose is about an 1/8 inch thick. It's meant to be able to withstand a little outdoor abuse, so it takes a little bit to cut it, even with the decently sharp blade. Okay. All right, so that's what we're left with. All right, so now that we've got the end of the pipe over there cut, and this is how it used to be, we can either put a longer piece of pipe in between these two and join them with a coupling barb, or I could take this little short piece off of this and add, I actually happen to have a new elbow, so then we can just go ahead and add an elbow on one end. So now I've got all the length I need, and so now I can just put one coupling barb on the end of this to join the two pieces of pipe. And this coupling barb is a little bigger than what I really need, so I'm going to probably force it. The supply is not keeping up with demand in this post-COVID world, so you may have to hunt for this if you want to do it right now. But as supply catches up, they'll get all that worked out. But anyway, just put this barb on here and that barb in that pipe right there. The new sprinkler head in place in the ground. We can adjust it later and connect this with the old pipe. And now we have it extended to where it needs to be. All right, so what I want to do now when I bury this head, I want the dirt not all the way covering the head, but just about to this height. So we'll just go ahead and start backfilling it, hold it right where I want it to be. All right, but that little 15-minute job just saved you, probably couple $100 if you had a lawn or a irrigation service come out. That's where it was, and now that's where it is. So we can line it up there, shoot right across that end of the porch, and then we can shoot this way down the edge of the porch. So it's in a much better place than it used to be. Once you get your sprinkler in the ground, all you have left is to adjust it so it covers the area that you want it to cover. We've got another video, just go ahead and check up here. And in that video, we went ahead and showed you how to repair, replace, and adjust a couple different kinds of sprinkler heads. Well, I hope this video helps. If you got anything out of it, give us a thumbs up. We appreciate it. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. We've got lots more videos coming. We'll see you next time.